All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is May 16th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Let's take a look at some charts, take a look at the market today. Let's see how I made 10K today in the market. All right, let's take a look at everything, all right? So we'll start off with some charts. Start off with SPY. SPY's got, today's the 16th. See this? Started out, we got a continuation of looking like a 10-minute uptrend from the previous day. And then they closed that out. And they started a new 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. You can see right here. Stayed in that till almost the end of the day right here. Okay. So we moved up to our second target here, which was 594.64. We did go after a couple of previous targets, like the overnight high. Okay, you can see we went after the overnight high up here. After filling gap, we went after overnight high as the first target. And then, of course, the second target was all the way up here, 594.65. Now, I said on Fridays in the morning video, if you saw the morning video, I said, you know what's, I don't really like Fridays because they tend to pin price to a certain area instead of going after targets, whereas I would have my eye set out on a target and it would never get there, okay? So you just have to kind of stick to the trend and play the candles and the chart that's in front of you. So going into the close, looking like we got possibly, we got 30 minutes left. Possibly a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. We'll see. Definitely got a 2-hour uptrend. All right, coming into the close here. See the 3 EMA. Okay, you got the 3 EMA, which is this yellow line. Okay, is up over the white 8 EMA. So we got a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Take a look at it on this chart. You can see yellow 3 EMA up over the white 8 EMA. Okay, this is the Trump tariff anchored VWAP. We had a price pullback into that, and then you can see price action took off and made a new high. All right, on the daily chart, we'll take a look at price action. Okay, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over rising 17. So it's a bullish trap because we've got, let's just get this stuff off of here. All right, so we got a bullish trap because the 3 is up on top of the 8. You can see the space in between the 3 and the 8. So you got the 3, the faster moving average, up over the 8. So price action, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Okay, if we look at it with the quad lines on there, you can see price action is up here in quadrant 4. Okay, if you take a look at it with quadrant 4 on there, we'll put the quad lines on there and you'll see it. Let me grab those quad lines and let's move them over. You can see we're up here in quadrant 4. This is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Okay, so that's bullish up there. Anytime we're in the upper third, that's bullish. Lower third, that's bearish. In the middle, that's neutral. All right, price action making a higher low and a higher high. Okay, so price action bullish and in a daily uptrend. We also had a 2-hour uptrend. All right, and then we had a 10-minute uptrend. Okay, this is rare opportunity. Okay, anytime you see a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, all right, it's rare opportunity today. 2-hour 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, all right, inside of a 2-hour uptrend, okay, inside of a daily uptrend, inside of a monthly uptrend, and all of that price action up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That is the rare opportunity, and that's when I like to go a little bit heavier than I normally go, because you know things are bullish when price action is running away from VWAP to the upside. And you know it's really bullish when price action is running away from the all-time high anchored VWAP to the upside, okay? And that's why I say it's a rare opportunity when you get that, and I like to take advantage of it. All those 10-minute uptrends over VWAP that are on top of all-time high anchored VWAP. So there's SPY. Let's take a peek at the 2-day chart. This is the daily chart right here. Okay, let's take a peek at the 2-day chart. You can see the 2-day chart is right here. Okay, so we got to take out a high. The first high we can come to is up here. So 2-day chart still in a downtrend. 3-day chart still in a downtrend. Weekly chart still in a downtrend. But guess what? Monthly chart still in an uptrend. Okay, look at that tail candle right there. Got some follow through on that. That's a big hammer. Okay, we might see something like that on the upside too. We'll see what happens. So there's monthly on SPY. You saw it today. We played 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I had some pretty good results. I'll share it with you. All right, I traded some 0 DTE to 592 calls. All right, made about 2,500 there, and then traded some 596 calls. All right, made some money right there. I had some calls that were short as a hedge, and I closed out a couple of them, so I wound up losing $550 right there. Played some, actually traded some $600 calls. I'm still in them. All right, that are 7 days till expiration. Wound up with $63 there. Had some 585 calls, 7 days till expiration. Wound up extracting about 1,000 right there. And then some 605, 14 days till expiration calls. Wound up extracting 68 there. 610, 21 days till expiration. Wound up extracting $50 there. 620 calls. 28 days till expiration, wound up extracting 21 there. And even on top of all of that, some 35 days till expiration, 625 calls, wound up extracting about 15 up there. So all in all, pretty good day for BYOB. A lot of traders made some daily goals. Congratulations to all of them. All right, so price action looking real good with that 10-minute uptrend over VWAP as we presented it in the room. Well, let me share some of that room banter, okay? Because I want to show you some what happened here. If I can get it up there. So here we are in the room. All right, and of course I shared this rare opportunity, 10-minute uptrend, and you can see we worked our way up from this location here all the way up to around here, 594, okay? Rare opportunity, 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, inside the 2-hour uptrend, inside the daily uptrend, all over the all-time high anchored VWAP, and you can see here's a SPY pivot, and the green erases red candle right there. So that's what we did there in the room, okay? So you can see a lot of guys made some daily goals. You can see here Brent did 2 daily goals right there. Got some other people in here that did some goals. Stu got a goal. Brad got a daily goal. Robert was away for the day. Alan and Scott, I think they got, Alan got 2 daily goals. Okay, Scott got a daily goal. I'm pretty sure he did. I think he said something earlier. Yeah, see, there's Brad made a daily goal. I think Malcolm made a little bit also. Fido made some goals. All right, so nice job in the room today. You know, if you don't have a membership, think about it. Okay, we try to do this every single day. Again, these are paying subscribers, and I try very hard to provide them with actionable content that they can make money with each day, as I point out opportunity to them day after day. All right, so let's go take a look at QQQ. All right, not on the monthly. Let's take a look at it on the daily chart, and we'll look at it here on the scratch. Okay, so QQQ, All right, I'm gonna have to like stretch things out just a little bit. All right, so that's a higher low. And the high there is 521.55. The high there is 521.93. So QQQ got an inside day. Okay, it's a lower high and a higher low, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA, up over the all-time high anchored VWAP, and over the uptrend line. Making higher highs and higher lows, that's an uptrend. Up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish. Let's take a look at FNGB. All right, FNGB up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Price action for FNGB is, let's see what the high is. High is 1954. High here is 1951. Okay, so FNGB inside day. Okay, lower high, higher low, closing over a bullish trap. Over the hooking 17. See the 17 in red dots? They go from red dots to green dots, so they're hooking right here. Over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. And with, let's see if we can get the quad lines on there this time. And they keep disappearing. I don't know. Well, anyways, I'll just get them out there real quick and we can see where we are. You can see price action is up there in the upper third. So that's bullish. Okay, it's just going to disappear again. All right, price action. Didn't disappear. Higher low, higher high. So it's making, it's in an uptrend. All right, and it's up there in the bullish territory in the upper third. Just barely hanging on to that. That's FNGB. Let's take a look at IWM. This is the Russell 2000. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap. Right here is today's candle. Closing over the 17. Closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's new news. Closing over the midpoint right there. Still in neutral territory, making higher lows and higher highs. So it's in an uptrend, but it's just neutral right through here. The good news is it's up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Keep an eye on that one. All right, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow got a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over the 17 EMA, over the all-time, there's the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, up here in the upper third, so that's bullish, making higher lows and higher highs. See, there's a high, made a higher high, so that's in an uptrend. And up here in the upper third, so that's bullish and in an uptrend. There's Diamond Dow. So we got, you can see, you got QQQ, SPY, Diamond Dow, all in the bullish upper third. Okay, and I think FNGB is in the upper third. Yeah, FNGB also in the upper third. The only one that's not is IWM. All right, and they're all bullish. So you can see that's why the market's having a really good day. Actually, a really nice month, these last 2 months. What a recovery. So there's Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at our technicals. Okay, T21.22. Very overbought here. Okay, you see way up here. This is the 16, 15 minute. You can see we stayed in the overbought from the opening of the day to the end of the day. Not leaving much room up there. 98.98. Okay, and 100 is the top. So not leaving much room at all. This is extremely overbought. Probably get a gap down tomorrow, or probably a little bit of profit taking tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Excuse me, on Monday. I meant Monday. All right, here's T21.23. Again, green from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. Look, consolidation over prior consolidation. That's bullish. Up on top of the hooking 200 SMA, that's bullish. Making higher lows and higher highs, that's bullish. Filling some of these bearish gaps, that's very bullish. All right, and then also has some bullish gaps that aren't getting filled by the bears. That's very bullish because the bears, that shows weakness on the bears part. So there's T21.23 15-minute chart. Coming back up here to attack some of these. This is a prior all-time high right here. That'll be the first one we come to. Let's take a look at the 3-bar chart. And let's see if we got over those highs. It's kind of close. I'm going to call it yes. There's the high right there. That is 634.414. What's the high here? 634.481. Finally, T2123 3-bar chart finally makes a higher high. Okay, that's great news, okay? Because now the downtrend's over for the 3-bar chart. Daily chart, it's still in a downtrend. But on the 15-minute chart, we're in an uptrend. And now finally on the 3-bar chart, we're in an uptrend. Okay, price action for the 3-bar chart up on top of this falling 200 SMA. Again, you can see the trend change from red, and you can see it transition to green right here. Nice rounded bottom out there, and price action continues to grind up. Again, I think they got their eye on attacking this right here. Like to see price move up on top of all this consolidation and actually consolidate above it. That would be nice. That would be a really bullish environment instead of coming up and then fading back. All right, so there's T2123. Let's take a look at FNGB. All right, you can see price action for today. It's the 16th. All right, a little green, a little red, a little green, a little red. But guess what? Hey, they're not coming down here. They're holding the higher ground. Very bullish outlook right there. Okay, so that's really nice move, holding that higher ground. They're up over an all-time high right here, anchored VWAP right there. I don't think that's the all-time high, but that is a high anchored VWAP. So price action looking good here on FNGB. All right, that's really nice. Up over this 200 SMA. Again, you got consolidation over prior consolidation. That's always a bullish environment. So you got consolidation here over some prior consolidation, over some prior consolidation, over some, you can see right here, prior consolidation right all through here. Okay, so that's bullish environment right there. And up over this high anchor VWAP, also bullish environment. All right, that's enough of that. Let's go take a look at a few sectors. We'll take a look at XLE. We'll take a look at XLE. It's our energy sector. Okay, so XLE in an uptrend because it's making higher lows and higher highs. Not bullish, just in the neutral zone. Still stuck underneath this downtrend line right here. You see they got a downtrend line right there. Still stuck underneath that one. Still stuck underneath this downtrend line as well. Okay, but in an uptrend. So in other words, they move down, but they're moving up because they're making higher lows and higher highs. So there's XLE in the neutral zone. Okay, not in the lower third, not in the upper third. So that's just neutral right through there, and in an uptrend. Okay, let's take a look at USO. USO got a higher low, higher high, closing inside. I'm gonna call it over that bullish trap, over the 17 EMA. Still in the lower third, so that's bearish. Still in a downtrend because it hasn't made a higher high. All right, so USO still in a downtrend and still in bearish territory down here in the lower third. That's USO on the daily chart, and also underneath this 3-year high anchored VWAP. So USO still downtrend, still bearish on the United States Oil Fund. Let's take a look at UNG. All right, here's Nat Gas. All right, price action is yet to make a higher high, so it's making higher lower highs and lower lows. It's in a downtrend. Price action has made another lower high right there. Lower high, lower low on the candle, closing underneath the bearish trap underneath the 17, and I'm gonna call it just on top of that 12-month high anchored VWAP. All right, so just on top of that 12-month high, but in the neutral zone right through here. So it's just neutral. All right, and still in a downtrend, still underneath that downtrend line. Let's take a look at GLD. All right, here's GLD. You can see it's up here in quadrant 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's bullish, but in a downtrend. All right, because here's a low, and they made a lower low. All right, so they're in a downtrend. Lower high, lower low, that's a downtrend. Okay, they're underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, but they're up here in the bullish sector, upper third, so that's bullish up there, but in a downtrend. So there's gold. Let's take a look at, thanks Robert. I made it back. I've been out. My voice was gone for a couple days, so I haven't done a video in a while. Thank you for still sticking with me if you're out there in video land, cyberland, podcast land. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, silver still in a downtrend because they've yet to make a higher low. Excuse me, a higher high. They have yet to make a higher high. You see price action, lower high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap, under the 17, underneath this downtrend line. Not in, I'm going to give it to them. All right, so they're in the upper third, so that's bullish, but in a downtrend. And they're on top of the 6-month. And that thing doubles also as a 12-year high anchored VWAP right there. Okay, so silver bullish, downtrend, but over 12-year high anchored VWAP. That's pretty good being up there. So that's silver. Let's take a look at SMH. All right, I got, I got 8 minutes left to hedge one of my positions. Oh, let me just close this out. And just a sec, I want to close that out and close it out. That's done. All right. All righty, where was I? SMH, right? SMH. Let's take a look at, SMH. This is semiconductors. You see semiconductors up here in the upper third. That's bullish. All right. Got an inside day. It's a lower high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap, over the rising 17, over this is the all-time high anchored VWAP, that pink line up there. So in the upper third, that's bullish, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, that's bullish, over the downtrend line, that's bullish. Price action in an uptrend because it's making higher lows and higher highs. Semiconductors are getting it done. Nice work on the semiconductors. Let's take a look at big brother to the semiconductors. That's the XLK. Look at the XLKs up here in quadrant 4. Again, another inside day closing over the bullish trap over the 17 up here in quadrant 4. Higher lows, higher highs. Sectors are doing well here, okay? Nice rip rally back all the way back up here. So there's price action for XLK. That's bullish and in an uptrend. So we got semiconductors and technology kind of leading the pack here finally. That's what we were looking for. XLF. Let's try XLF. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish, up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Making higher highs and higher lows. That's bullish. So we got technology, semiconductors, and financials all doing the right stuff. Okay, we're waiting on small caps and mid caps. We got big caps, FNGB, doing the right stuff. We're just waiting on transports. All right, let's take a look at IYT. Okay, transports. I don't know, man. That's close. They're trying to break into the bullish zone up here in the upper third. All right. I got to give them some credit, though. This is the 4th day up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. They're due for a breakout. We could see one on Monday. Okay, so there's IYT, transports. Nice comeback for the transports. I didn't think they were ever going to get out of this bearish lower third. So there's price action. Higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17, knocking on the door to the bullish upper third, and over the all-time high anchored VWAP. So nice work on the transports. So they're getting ready to get some work done here. Okay, so it's getting close. It's getting close. I think we're about one tweet away from a new all-time high. Okay, so like maybe if Mexico and Canada kind of fell in line or negotiations went well with either one or maybe even both of those countries, we could see a nice pop. I got to tell you, the economic data is looking pretty good, so I don't see any reason why we can't have a rate cut. All right, but everything's looking good. We're about one tweet away from making a new all-time high on SPY. We are, you can see us here, 594.12. We are, let me just say, what is this? Didn't I get rid of this? Okay. We are about $20 away from making a new all-time high. The all-time high is 613. Okay, you can see we're at 594. All right, so we're about one day away. Okay, $20 away. We could do that. Heck, we gapped on the Trump tariff news, $20 right there. So we are like, I'm going to tell you, we're one trading day away from making a new all-time high. One trading day. One Trump tweet. One, all right? It's close. It's real close, all right? I'm just saying, for making new all-time highs, all right? What a comeback right there, all right? So just, I got a lot of bullish options that I'm holding far out. I actually think we climb our way up to 650. All right, you can see I've got 35 days out, 28 days out, 21 days out, 14 days out, 7 days out. Okay, I'm bullish. I'm bullish because we got a bullish environment. I'm bullish because we're up over all-time high anchored VWAP. I'm bullish because we're in uptrends. I'm bullish because everything's looking good. All right, so that's where we're at. All right, that's it for me for today, traders. I want to do one thing. I want to sell how many of those? I want to sell 7 of those. 7. I want to sell 7 of those. 7. There we go. All right. So things are looking good. I'll take some questions in the room. If not, I'm going to call it a weekend. And Robert says, what do I think of NBIS and TTAN? All right, let's take a look at it, Robert. All right, that's a new all-time high. That's bullish, up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. You're getting a breakout right now. That's bullish. I love it. I love it. You got no resistance up overhead. Okay, this is looking great. Look how it goes up, comes back, and then doubles back up over. This is looking great. I love that. It's it. It's good to go. You're in. It's a relatively new stock, so there's no resistance overhead. So this is looking fantastic. All right, up over that all-time high anchored VWAP. Love it. Hey, thanks, Stelton. Thank you. Hope you have a great weekend. All right, and then NBIS, I'm going to answer everyone's questions. And Robert's asking about it. Oh, that's beautiful too. Nice hook. Wow, what a great hook. All right, so where's resistance? We got some prior price action here. Okay, so you can see right there. Okay, you're just underneath resistance here on this one, Robert. Okay, so it's kind of extended up there. Okay, so on that one, if it starts to bull flag over to the right, that will be bullish. All right, because it's probably going to create a little grinder box to get through all of this. I'm just going to put the line in. Okay, it's right there. Okay, it's probably going to create a little grinder box of probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 or 8 candles right through here. They may poke it and they'll probably get sent back right here. If they hold the higher ground, that would be a really bullish outlook. And I would be interested in hanging on to this as long as it stayed in the upper third right there. See this move up? It'd have to stay in the upper third. If it lost the upper third, I gotta say I wouldn't be interested in it anymore. All right, so right up there. I would look for it to create that little grinder box and start banging away. You're going to have some overhead supply up here of price where you're going to run into some sellers. All right, so it's going to be temporary. All right, you might put in a handle to this cup. See how you got a cup? You might put in a handle, and it might even take 15 days for that to play out. All right, so but that's looking good. I like it. All right, I like that a lot. They got to hold the higher ground because if they give it all up, all right, then what do you got? You got a lower high, right? You get too far down here, and then the bears get inspired to make a lower low, right? So you got to hold that higher ground. All right, so this is looking good. A lot of green days in a row, okay? Probably due for some rest, all right? A little bit of relaxation, maybe a camp out in a grinder box here and just grind away at the overhead supply on that one. All right, oh, you're welcome. Hey, big wins today. Thanks, Brad. Love it, love it. Hey, Jim. Thank you, John. Glad to hear you turn around the corner. Yeah, enjoy your weekend. Thank you. You too, Jim. Thank you so much. John is able to jump in today at 1 p.m. Did a daily goal. Love it, Stelton. Love it. So Stelton got a daily goal too. Wow, that's great. Roberts and NBS, Alexander, NBS have earnings today. You're right. Yeah, you got earnings on that, Robert. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. Earnings on NBIS. They may, who knows, they may jump up here and consolidate on top. We'll see. Thanks, J.A. Yeah, you have a great weekend as well. Okay, so, all right, that's it for me today. Rickster, hope you had a great week. We'll see everybody on Monday at 8 o'clock. I'm so happy my voice is back. I can continue to do videos. So this is great news for me because I haven't done a video, I think, since the beginning of the week. And the first one was really scratchy. So it feels good to come back and start talking to everybody. All right, everybody, have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you Monday, 8 o'clock. We'll do it again. All right, make some more. All right, thank you, everyone.